So, you're thinking about becoming a runner, but you're just not sure where to even begin? I get it. It can seem pretty intimidating from the outside, but it's actually way simpler than you think. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can start running smartly, safely, and build a habit that you'll actually stick with. Okay, first things first. Let's tackle this huge mental block right out of the gate. Do you have this little voice in your head that says running is only for, super fit athletes? That maybe you're not a real runner? That feeling is so common. But the truth, it's simple. If you run, you are a runner. Period. End of story. And this piece of advice right here, this is the core philosophy you need to embrace. It basically says, hey, when you first start out, you might need to take walk breaks. And that's not just okay, it's expected. You can't let that discourage you. It's not a sign of weakness. It's actually the smartest possible way to start your journey. So what is that first smart step? Well, it all comes down to one foundational technique that pretty much every new runner should use. It's called the run/walk method. So what is it really? It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a training style where you switch back and forth between running and walking. The goal isn't to just go out there and push yourself until you're totally exhausted. No. The whole point is to give your body a chance to ease into it, to gradually adapt to the new stress of running. And that, my friends, is the absolute key to avoiding injury and not burning out after week 1. All right, so you get the method. Now for the fun part, the actual plan. Let's take a look at a 10-week journey that's designed to take you from day 1 all the way to running for 30 minutes straight. Here's the bird's eye view of your next 10 weeks. See how gentle it starts? Week 1 is just 1 minute of running followed by 4 whole minutes of walking. And that's where the magic really happens, in that gradual progression. Every week, you just slightly increase the running time and shrink the walking time. Your body barely even notices the change. And before you know it, bam, you've hit that 30-minute goal. So what does one of these training days actually look like on the ground? It's super simple, really. Just 4 parts. You kick things off with a 5-minute warm-up walk to get your muscles loose and ready. Then you jump into the main event, your 30-minute run/walk workout. After that, you'll want to do a 5-minute cool-down walk to bring your heart rate down nice and easy. And finally, you wrap it all up with some light stretching to help with recovery. Now, the real secret sauce to making this whole plan work is consistency. You want to aim for about 3 or 4 of these sessions a week. But, and this is a big but that so many beginners miss, the rest days are just as important as the running days. Seriously, rest is when your body actually does the hard work of repairing itself and getting stronger. If you skip rest days, you're pretty much just fast-tracking yourself to an injury, so treat them like part of the plan, because they are. And speaking of injuries, that brings us to our next crucial topic. I mean, the goal isn't just to start running, right? It's to keep running for the long haul. And that means you have to learn how to run smart, not just hard. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this number might look a little scary at first. At least half of all regular runners get injured every single year. But here's the kicker. The vast majority of those injuries don't come from some dramatic trip or fall. They come from something way more subtle. And that something is what's known as an overuse injury. It's basically caused by repetitive strain on your body. In other words, you're doing too much, too soon, before your body is actually ready for it. It's your body's way of screaming, hey, slow down a bit. And preventing this right here is exactly what our 10-week plan is designed to do. Yeah, you've probably heard of some of these usual suspects. Runner's knee, shin splints, they sound pretty intimidating. But here's the good news. For the most part, they are totally preventable. By listening to your body, following a smart, gradual plan, and building up your overall strength, you can stay way ahead of them. So how do we do that? How do we build that strength and create a body that's, well, resilient? The answer, funny enough, actually lies beyond running itself. We're talking about something called cross-training, and it's not as complicated as it sounds. It's really just mixing in other types of workouts, things like swimming, cycling, or even some basic strength training that support your running habit. So why should you even bother with this? Oh man, the benefits are huge. Cross-training is what helps prevent those nagging overuse injuries because you're not stressing the same muscles over and over. It helps fix muscle imbalances, builds fantastic all-around strength, and improves your cardio without all the pounding. Plus, and this is a big one, it's a great way to keep things fresh and fight off mental burnout. All right, we've covered the how, but let's talk about a really practical question, the cost. There's this myth out there that running is completely 100% free. And while it can be, the cost can also start to add up. As you can see, there's a huge range here, and that's the cool part. you're in control. You can absolutely be a minimalist and get by for under $250 a year, just focusing on good shoes and some basic clothes. But as you get more into it, you might find yourself becoming an enthusiast, or maybe even a dedicated runner with all the fancy gear. The beauty is, you decide where on that spectrum you want to land. And hey, want to know a little secret? A real pro tip for saving some cash, especially on your single most important piece of gear: your shoes. Always look for last year's models. Shoe companies make tiny tweaks every year, but the core technology is usually almost identical. That means you can get a fantastic, top-quality shoe for way less. It's one of the smartest buys you can make as a new runner. Okay, we've gone through the plan, how to stay safe, even the gear, but let's finish with the most important part, the why. What's the real reward here that makes people fall in love with this thing? Trust me, it's about so much more than just logging miles. I mean, look at this. The benefits are just incredible for both your body and your mind. We're talking improved heart health, stronger bones, less stress and anxiety. You get a better mood, more mental clarity. It's this powerful tool that builds discipline that just kind of spills over into every other part of your life. And we've all heard people talk about the runner's high, right? And everyone always says, oh, it's the endorphins. Well, what if I told you that's not the whole story? Turns out, the latest science shows that endorphins can't actually get past the blood-brain barrier to affect your mood. The real heroes are things called endocannabinoids. Your body produces them naturally, and they act a lot like cannabis. They can cross that barrier, and that's what gives you that feeling of calm and reduces anxiety. So that amazing feeling you get after a good run, that's the real science behind it. Pretty cool, huh? So when you boil it all down, it really just comes to this. Every runner's story, whether it's just getting around the block or crossing the finish line of a marathon, it all starts with that one single step. The only question left is, are you ready to take yours?